Right then guys, today I am joined by Owain again.
Alright, so I am the aforementioned Owain.
Indeed, so today we are doing our first sort of voted for battle report. And what I mean by that is that we recently unlocked the YouTube community posts as a creator. So what that means is we can make posts, polls, post photos and whatnot, sort of like how you would on Facebook, but over on YouTube instead. So we put our first poll up, asking sort of what affiliations people would like to see from the ones we've not had on in the longest and one wildcard one, and it came up overwhelmingly that the Spider Foes were the number one wanted affiliation.
Yep. And
behind them was Web Warriors. So today what we're going to do is have a very thematic and asked for matchup with the Web Warriors facing off against the Spider Foes. Right on the back of the 24-hour event, Owen, where I think me and you played 8 games of Marvel together.
Something like
that. So hopefully Owen can build a roster where the threat value is correct. We're going to make sure it is, no matter what.
Got the calculator ready to go?
Exactly, so it should be bang on. It will be bang on.
We'll use that A-level maths to good use.
Yeah, managed to get past 15 hopefully. So, last thing to say is please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and make sure to check our Patreon if that is something you'd be interested in. So Owen, should we get started?
We shall indeed.
Well then Owen, shall we roll for priority?
We shall.
I've got 3.
I've got 3.
However, I do have 2 crits.
Yep.
So they overruled yours, even though you've got 2 wilds and a crit. So that means the Spider Foes will have priority, as I'll be using them today. Right then, Owen, for our missions today, we do have some stuff in common. However, there is enough variety to give me a clear choice of which one I want to go with. We're just going to quickly run through what missions we have brought along though and why. So starting with my blues, the first one I've got is Infinity Formula. So this is a really odd mission for me, as I don't think many teams, if any, really like it. However, the Spider Foes, especially after the new changes, excel at lots of one-on-one fights. And that extra power can give them access to things like throws, bigger attacks, and more useful superpowers. So it's something I wanted to try out, see how the Spider Foes get along with it, as in these one-on-one fights it will help having all of those options online. Next up we've got Riot Spark. So again, it's reasonably well spread out, and the healing helps me with the one-on-one fights. I've got bigger health pools than most teams, with characters like Venom, Goblin, Lizard, so it's really useful there. It doesn't push me off the point at all. There's no way it can place me off the point, so just a really solid mission for me, where I can stand there and hopefully throw the other person off. After that we've got Demons Downtown. This one's a little less subtle. This one is a scrum straight down the middle of the board. The incinerate condition for a lot of teams can be very detrimental. I think the only teams that aren't that worried about playing on it currently are Winter Guard and Midnight Suns. But aside from that, this can really help to push a scrum in favour of one team, especially if I can focus on the extracts and sort of give you no option but to take the secures to keep up on points. Speaking of extracts, the first one I've got is Mutant Extremists target US Senators. So this 14 threat value is very low, and I think at such a low threat value a lot of the Spider Foes characters excel. On top of that, having you roll less defense dice if you're holding the Senators is definitely going to be very helpful for an attrition style of player. The last 2 missions we've got are fairly similar. We've got Spider Infected and Struggle for the Cube. These are just so that I can really lean into well-laid plans with Doc Ock and Green Goblin, as having so many points on the board means that I've got lots of chances to make you drop them and potentially take some damage as well, which is going to be really useful thanks to cubes. Right then Owen, that's all of the Spider Foes missions. Do you want to run through what you've brought along for the webheads?
Yeah, so starting from top left, we've got Spider Infected. I mean, in terms of thematic, Web Warriors, Spider Infected, it's nice, but it gives nice, good spread out, and massively favours rosters that like to go wide, because you can't stack all of the assets onto one character. So if someone's bringing 2, 3, 4 wide rosters, they're going to really struggle holding that many Spider Infected, whereas the Web Warriors can get a nice number of them holding them. Montesi, with the amount of Web Warriors that have got places or ways to move without using a move action, getting that access to beam attacks can be really solid. You get someone like Miles holding one of the books, he can just web swing, get himself into a nice solid position and get out hitting 3 characters with a beam. Can be really strong with the Web Warriors. And then Skrulls, having Black Cat affiliated is really nice, because she's got the ability to steal. It reduces her speed down, but with her grappling hook it can be really solid to steal it, get that move, get that grappling hook off, and get a good distance away from whoever had it in the first place. And then for the blues, all the same reason for being picked, nice and simple. The MACD setup is really strong for Web Warriors. They've got so much mobility that if they need to get to another portal really quick to help out, they've got that ability to do so. You've got people like Amazing Spider-Man and Gwen with their long movements, Daredevil with his long movements as well. It's just a really good, solid mission for the Web Warriors.
Right then, Owen, so that's all of the missions. I am going to go with my blues just because although I have got Riot Spark as one of mine, I'm not a huge fan of Cosmic Invasion or Spider Portals for the foes. So we'll get rid of the ones we're not using, and then give these ones a shuffle. Forward. Right then, I will go with this one.
I'll meet you in the middle.
Oh, so we'll get rid of these ones. And then we are playing Infinity Formula and Scrolls. So 17 threat it is, no matter what. So we'll build some teams and see how that goes.
Nice.
So guys, today what we have gone for is a very tanky team with the Spider Foes. Just again, like I said, so I can really force those one-on-one fights where I can excel, either through just having more health and defence than the other team, or being able to sort of do the damage I need to and move you around with some shenanigans. So first of all, we've got Green Goblin. He is the only current leader for the Spider Foes. Hopefully we'll be getting either Shocker or Vulture soon, but who knows. He's got some interesting attacks, the main benefit of which is that he can choose them to either be physical or energy, so he can exploit weaker defences there. He's got some interesting superpowers, such as Hit and Run, Trick or Treat. Arch Nemesis, sadly, I don't think we'll be seeing go off today, as his Arch Nemesis is specifically Peter Parker, not Spider-Man. Hit and Run, though, does let him have a little bit of manoeuvrability with his attacks, and Trick or Treat can leave a nasty surprise for anyone standing around some terrain. His leadership, Oscult Weaponry, is very useful. It's sort of a reverse version of the X-Force leadership. So once per turn, when our character is attacking, during the modified dice step, it may re-roll one of the opposing defense dice. So this is really big, just because there's only about a 35% chance of rolling a success when defending anyway. So getting rid of one can be really useful. Next up, we've got Dr. Octopus. So he's an affiliated free threat, back from the core box days, but he's still very solid, especially in Spider Foes. His strike, he counts wilds as 2 successes each, so that can be really useful. Arm lasers can be great for sniping out a character with its Pierce energy. Then he also gets the added bonus of whenever he rolls crits, he gains some extra power. And of course, Ox Clutches, which lets you throw around enemy characters, are really useful. Got Mysterio, who is another very tanky character, especially early on in the game, because he gets to use his Mystic defense when defending unless the opposing player spends 2 power before attacking. So that can be really useful to make him surprisingly tanky, especially for a free threat. He brings in some Mystic damage as well, and his Tricks and Traps, which sort of work like Rocket's booby traps, can be really useful if an enemy character moves into range, as you then get to possibly do some damage and even move off the back of it. After that, we've got Lizard, who is nice and simple. I personally don't see the appeal to Lizard as much as some of the other characters in the game. However, I do think he works well in Spider Foes, especially with this plan of trying to be very tanky and going reasonably tall. 5 wide is sort of your average roster. So that's why we've got Lizard, and he of course brings a throw, which can be great for displacement and dealing some damage. Lastly, we've got one of the newest characters to the game, Crimson Dynamo. So I've managed to get quite a few games under my belt with him now, and I think he is especially tanky when you look at all the different 4 threats. He brings in a beam, which is something the Spider Foes really don't have access to. So you potentially be rolling lots of attacks and then looking for that one time where re-rolling their defense dice could be massive. The fact he can also re-roll opposing characters' attack dice again helps with the durability of your team, and also lets you negate some of the triggers of enemy effects, so that can be really fun game. Moving on to tactics cards, the first one that we've got is Sinister Traps. So this lets you set up a trap on an objective at the start of the game. The first time any character would move within range 2 of it, you get to roll 5 dice. They take a damage for each hit, crit or wild, and if they do take any damage, they get pushed. So it can be really disruptive early on in the game. Next up, we've got Neogenetic Recombobulator. I hope I said that right. So what this lets you do is transfer damage between your Spider Foes characters. So say Goblin has taken 3 damage and Doc Ock has taken none. You can take that 3 damage off of Goblin and put it over on Doc Octopus instead. However, the main use of this is putting it onto Lizard, as he can progressively heal it with his healing factor. Next up we've got Smash, so this is an unaffiliated card. I've got this in there just so that either Goblin, Lizard or Dynamo can use it. They can smash a size 2 piece of terrain and then add dice to their attacks for the round equal to the size of it, so it can be really useful, especially on Dynamo's Beam or on one of Green Goblin's attacks where you get to choose what type it is. The last two cards we've got very generic. We've got Mission Objective, which is just in there because we're playing a single extract. I'm already going up against Webheads, who have some of the best control in the game, so if I get hold of that point I want to try and hold on to it. Lastly we've got Patch Up, just again, it is the only healing card. It's one of my 2 restricted cards in my roster, and it's just going to be really useful keeping the longevity of my team and sort of working into that attrition playstyle. So that is the Spider Foes. We'll take a quick look at Owain's Web Warriors.
Right guys, so a quick rundown of the Web Warriors. So starting off, we're taking Miles as the leader. His great responsibility leadership really helps the defensiveness of the Web Warriors. It gives you a reroll in your defense roll and lets you reroll skulls if you're contesting or holding an objective, which can really help out, especially when you've got characters like Miles with his Spider Sense, which lets him reroll 2 of his defense dice anyway. Giving you access to rerolling those skulls can be really beneficial. And with a single extract mission, his Venom Blast, which forces you to drop whatever objective token that you're holding, is really, really beneficial.
Just to clarify, with the Web Warriors leadership, because this is something that I get asked a lot, it doesn't let you just automatically reroll any skulls, but like Owen said, if you have a superpower like Spider Sense, it unlocks the ability for you to use that to reroll skulls. So it's a little bit tricksy when you initially look at it, but it doesn't let you reroll every skull, it just gives you the option to if you have a reroll.
Thank you, Aaron. And then, yeah, his stealth really helps when you're coming up against some of those characters that like to sit far away, like Aaron's got with his Dynamo, with his range 4 beam, which means that if you're outside of range 3, he can't be hit by it. Next up, we've got Gwen, one of the best control pieces in the game, with both her web line and her lifesaver. It means that she can pull enemies off of objectives, or pull them if they've already activated into the range of someone else, say Venom, one of your big heavy hitters, without them having to use one of their actions to move. And Lifesaver can force your opponent to have to use one of their actions to move up to attack you if you can get them outside of range. So mixing that in with someone like Miles with his stealth, it's really beneficial. Next up, we've got Black Cat, almost an auto take on single extract secures, because her ability to steal can be absolutely huge, as well as a long movement, and her grappling hook gives her a lot of mobility. She's got stealth as well, so it just means that people that like to sit far away and hit from a distance have to come a bit closer to you, and have to sometimes be using that movement to try and get close. Next up, we've got Venom, an absolutely solid 4 threat, really defensive, but a good heavy hitter as well. With a 4-2-3 defense and 7 health, means that when people hit him, he'll often take damage, but with that counter attack and being able to do We Are Venom on the counter attack, a lot of the time people are hitting him and he's hitting them back for as much damage and healing whatever that has just been done to him. So Venom, really solid character, and with access to a pull and a throw, is also a really good control piece. And finally, to make up the 17, and it is definitely 17, we've got Black Panther as a 4 threat splash. In this mission, with Infinity Formula and getting access to the 2 power return, it means that if he's on an objective, he's going to be able to afford Mantle of the Black Panther every turn. And with Miles giving him access to rerolling skulls if he's on that objective, it means that when he's rerolling all of his attack dice, that's including the skulls, because he's unlocking that ability to reroll the skulls. So that makes him really consistent with his damage output. And if people are throwing him off of objectives, getting access to the pounce to get himself back on without having to use one of his movements makes him a really solid character, and is really defensive with the Miles Morales reroll, as well as counting blanks for physical and energy attacks as successes on his healthy side. For tactics cards, we've got one of the main Web Warrior affiliated cards, all webbed up. So characters within 3 are getting slow, gives you a nice bit of control, slowing people down. But the main thing is that extra 2 dice on the attack rolls for that turn when they've got slow. Really helps increase the damage output for the Web Warriors, who aren't normally a very heavy hitting team. Then we've got Lethal Protector, Venom specific card. Similar to Heroes for Hire, it allows you to bodyguard onto Venom, gets him close from a good distance, and once someone hits Venom, he can hit them straight back most of the time, which is always good. Next are my 2 restricted cards, so Patch Up and Brace for Impact. You've probably already heard what they do, but just a quick summary. Patch Up lets you heal some of your other characters, helps keep them longer in the fight, and Brace for Impact just means that people can pay a power to avoid any damage from a throw or collision, which when you've got people like Goblin throwing themselves into you for 4 damage, or the potential of size 3s being thrown into you, to just pay a power to just get rid of that is really beneficial. And last up, we've got Mission Objective, an essential card for single extracts, because it means that if they catch up to, say, Black Cat or whoever's holding the extract and manage to daze or KO them, for 2 power you can just hand it off to someone within 2. So it means that you're keeping that single extract on your side. Really solid card.
Right then, Owen, that is both of the rosters, so we'll move into our deployment. Right then, Owen, so we have set everything up. It is time for deployment. The last thing to talk about is terrain. I know it feels like I've been saying this forever, but we do have new terrain on the way. We've had a 3D printed piece, which I'm very excited to paint for the channel soon. And then we are coming to a close on building all of our multiverse terrain. So then it will be on to painting it. However, today for terrain, we've got our sort of normal New York City setup. We've got a size 5 with the apartment building. Then we've got size 3 with the bugle and 2 cargo containers, which are all size 3. Then everything else is size 2. So the cars, the 2 bushes and this hedge, as well as the Captain America statue, other than these 2 barrels, which are just little size 1 pieces of terrain, just to mix it up a little. In terms of mission, we've got Infinity Formula, which is sort of the box setup. So there's 1 here and 1 here, as well as 2 over there. And then scrolls is straight across the middle. We've got 1 on top of the police car, 1 over by the bugle, and 1 dead centre of the table next to a radioactive barrel. So I did have priority on, so it is time for me to set up. I'll make sure not to do a John and use a range 3 ruler to do so. So my first character is going to be pretty simple. It's actually going to be the 1 out of affiliation pick, which is Crimson Dynamo. He's just going to stand there.
Okay, first things first, we're going to drop Gwen right in the middle, which with a long movement is always a nice place to have her.
Yeah, because it means you can get anywhere she wants to. Carrying on with the medium base master race, I think Lizard is going to go, so he's just going to stand over here, like so. Usually I wouldn't deploy a character this far out, but Lizard is surprisingly quick with a medium move on a medium base, so I'm okay with him being just there.
Again, following on with the same idea as Gwen, I'm going to have Black Cat just sitting on top here, because it means that once that scroll gets found, she can go either way.
Next up for me, Mysterio, who sort of, unfortunately, because he's just so slow to begin with, does have to commit to where he wants to be early on. So I think he's just going to stand right over here next to Lizard on top of this cargo crowd, like so.
Okay, next up we're going to have Miles, again nice and central, just drop in right here behind the cargo container.
Nice. Speaking of a medium base with a medium move, we've got Green Goblin, who will be stood, sadly he's blocked a little bit by the apartment building. He will go just here, just out of sight of the camera, but if you can't see him, he is right here at range 3 behind the apartment building.
Next up we're going to have Black Panther come in and committing to this flank. He's got a long movement so he can get to where he needs to be, nice. But going up against Goblin's physical and energy is quite tanky against him.
Nice. Lastly, once again, medium base master race is Dr. Octopus, who we are going to put just here, because I don't want to commit everything to that side of the board, just in case the score gets found here really early. So I could put him there, but I think actually I'm going to throw him just here like so.
And then we're going to drop Venom, committing him more over to this side, trying to avoid those energy attacks which Aaron's put quite nicely over there, away from the symbiote.
Nice, so that is both of us fully deployed, Owen. Good luck.
And to you.
And we'll see what happens in the fan requested Web Warriors versus Spider Foes. Right then, going into round 1, the last thing we need to do, as we've already done the power, is to place this distract. So an our character may play this card during the first power phase. So I'm just going to play it with Mysterio as he's the master of tricks and illusions. We're going to put it on the middle point, like so, just to deter anyone from going too central and sort of make you have a decision to go around on the outsides, which might work out in my favour, it might not, but that's where I'm going to put it. So it has been played. I'm just going to put the card there until it gets triggered. As I said in the roster breakdown at the start, if any character moves within 2 of it, that does include being pulled or thrown within 2 of it, it will go off and then you roll some dice, you potentially do some damage and push the character. I did have priority Owen, so I have to go with the first character. And I think it's going to be quite simple for me. I'm just going to send Mysterio forward as he's not going to be able to get anywhere else really, sadly, due to his small movements. He's going once to here, and then he's going to move again over to here. Just up against that hedge so he can't be pulled this way by any spider shenanigans. That is the end of his activation. It's over to you.
Right, so we're going to go with Venom. Again, small movement, luckily a slightly bigger base, but he's not going to be getting elsewhere much, but we don't need to worry about your tricks and traps because you won't have the power for it yet. So we're just going to drop Venom nicely here so that he's on that objective. And drop his tick next to him there.
So I was considering running up with Lizard and taking this point on your side. I'm just going to have a look to see whether I reckon I'll still be able to do so. And sadly I think because of where Venom is, I'm not. So that leaves me with an interesting choice of what to do next. Right, so we are actually going to go with Green Goblin. He's just going to move once up to here, like so. Just because it lets me wait and see if you look for the skull and find it anywhere. So that is the end of Goblin's turn.
So, now that I don't have to worry about Green Goblin's range 4 attacks, as you've activated him, we're just going to throw Black Panther up to here with 2 long movements. He can very comfortably make it right to there, being on that objective.
Nice. Off to me, Owen?
Yeah, Black Panther just needs his tick.
So, the question is who to go with next, and I think the answer is Lizard, because he's only really got one place to go. So he could move and just stay on my objective. However, Lizard doesn't tend to be as power hungry as some characters, so what I'm going to do is actually risk wasting a power looking for the scroll. And we'll see if we get it. So we'll just quickly grab some dice trays. Right then, so we've grabbed some dice trays. Lizard is looking for the scroll, so I need to spend 1 power. And I get 2 dice, and I need to roll a single crit on either of the dice to find it. Lizard doesn't find it as he gets a block and a hit. So that's the end of Lizard's activation.
Right. So next up we are going to go with Miles. We're just going to bounce him over to here with his 2 movements, just so that he's on the edge of that infinity formula, powering up ready for next turn so he can go scroll hunting.
Nice.
Should you find it.
Next up for me then, Owen, I've got to go with Dynamo or Dr. Octopus. And I think of the 2, the one I'm going to send out first is Dynamo, just because he's a pretty solid match against Venom as he can reach him from range 4 with his energy attacks. So I'm going to move once to here, and then I might as well move on to the point to gain some extra power, like so. I should also be within range 4 but outside of range 3 ready for next turn. So that is the end of Dynamo's activation. Just to make sure that he can't be pulled again, he is in base contact with Mysterio.
So we're going to get Gwen over to here, just getting her within range 1 of that objective, but far away so that you can't get her with the beam as well.
Nice. And that was with 2 long moves, which
Yeah.
is more than enough space. So last of all, Owen, I've got Dr. Octopus to go with. Luckily, he does have wall crawler, which means he doesn't have to climb up this building. So he's going to move once to here, like so. And with his second action, he's going to move right to the edge of the building here. That's just so at the start next turn, you can actually do a range 4 arm lasers into one of your characters. However, they are quite tanky, the ones you've got at the minute, so we'll have to wait and see. That's the end of all of the spider foes, Owen, so it's just you to go with Black Cat.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to try and get... We're just going to bring Black Cat with a nice long movement, moving off the terrain, so we can use a full movement to here, so that she is nice and central, can still get to where she needs to go, ready to potentially do some stealing shenanigans, but gets cover from that nice size 2 piece of hedgerows.
Nice, so that is the end of round 1, Owen. I believe we're both just scoring 2 each.
Yep.
So we've got the old blind obsession token to the spider files and the generic webhead one for you, Owen, as we move into round 2. Right then, Owen, we are going into round 2. We've put the scores on the doors. Sinister Trap still hasn't been triggered, so that does stay until it gets triggered. And it doesn't just go away at the end of the round. So I do still have priority, I just need to quickly power up. So the obvious choice for me would be to go with Crimson Dynamite and do a beam into Venom. However, if I do that, I'm 99% sure you're going to lifesaver. Luckily though, Dynamite does have a little bit of a counter to that, so I am going to declare the beam into Venom.
Yep, as you correctly predicted.
Just to show it off, it is within 4. It will currently hit Mysterio, which means he'd take a damage.
We are going to spend the 2 on Gwen. So, with Lifesaver, I can push Venom small towards Gwen. So, we're going to bring him over this way, as that will still be towards.
Just to show everyone what towards is, it means you place a 90 degrees tool like this, and it's got to be parallel to those lines or within.
Yep, so we're going to bring him parallel and just get him over to there.
Nice. So had you just pulled him straight back towards Gwen, all I'd have done is used propulsion thrusters to place myself into and then beam the still at them both. Sadly, I can no longer do this, so I'm just going to have a look where range 4 from Venom is. So it can potentially be within 1 of the points. So what I'm going to do is going to spend 2 power for propulsion thrusters. So I need to move this out of the way. I get to place myself within 2 of my current position. So I'm going to place Dynamo just here. So he won't be able to get within 1 of the points, sadly. However, I do believe it puts him back within range 4 of Venom, which it does.
Yep.
So I'm now going to do a beam into Venom. So it is 5 dice energy and you won't be able to counter attack. Just 2.
I already blocked it without exploding the crit.
Nice. So I did get a wad, so you do get in shock. Then Dynamo gains the power for doing the attack. Which puts him to 2 power. So now all I'm going to do is do 5 dice energy beam into Gwen as well, who is also within 4. If I'd have done some more damage to Venom, I might have potentially smashed the car to do a big 7 dice to try and finish him off. But with doing no damage, I'm better off just trying to pile some more shock. Sadly, I don't roll any successes at all.
Excellent.
Nice, so Gwen takes no damage. I do, however, still gain a power. It's slightly underwhelming there from Dynamo, but it's still early in the game. So I'm fine with that, and Venom having shock does help me out a little bit. So that is the end of Dynamo's activation, and it is over to you, Owen.
So, next up, we're going to go with Miles. As he's got 3 power because of the Infinity Formula, we're going to start off by spending 2 of it for a web swing. So he gets to place himself within 3. So we're just going to drop him in quite comfortably there, onto that side of the objective. Nice. So he's within 1 of the scroll and within 2 of Doc Ock, so that Doc Ock won't be getting cover from the building. And we're going to start with a webline kick. Now this is 4 dice physical, but because of the web swing, he gets an additional 2 dice.
Taking it all the way up to 6 dice. Doc does get 4 physical defense dice, so it should be relatively okay.
Yeah, but we're mostly looking for that while to get the throw off.
I'll block just the 1.
We are doing 5, including 2 wiles.
Nice, so Doc Ock takes 4 damage straight away.
That gives Miles a nice solid 4 power.
However, sorry, before damage you get to do your throw.
Yep, so we are going to throw him away small. Doc Ock has got 5 on this side,
Yep, so this will daze him if he hits Goblin.
So we are just going to throw him like so.
Nice. So, Doc Ock takes a damage before the damage from the attack is dealt, which will then end with him being dazed. So I'll grab a daze token. Sadly, Doc Ock was not on form for that one. Now, Green Goblin does need to dodge. He gets 4 physical defense. However, Doc Ock is size 4, so I'm dodging 4 incoming damage. I dodged just the 1, so Goblin takes 3 damage to the face.
Getting him nice and powered up though.
Yep.
But I think with how well that went, the plan was roll for the Skrull and maybe run away. But as I am within 2 of Goblin, I think it might be time to see if we can't finish him off first.
Yep.
So we're going to spend 3 and do a Venom Blast into him. Now this is 7 dice energy.
Yep, so I'll get 3 defense stars, and Miles is just going absolute spider ham on my team here. I blocked 2 this time.
I'm getting 3 with a crit.
Yep.
So let's add that in there.
So 4.
Yeah.
So Mr. Goblin takes 2 more damage. Luckily there are no throws or special conditions from Venom Blast. However, if I was holding an objective I would have had to drop it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent bit of damage. Was hoping you'd maybe block a little bit less there, but I am now worried about a very powered up Green Goblin. But let's go for rolling for that Skrull.
Nice.
So we're going to pay 1, just needing a crit on the 2 dice. I'm getting it.
Nice, so Miles has done absolutely everything you could ask for in that one turn there.
Yeah, I can't complain about Miles' performance just then.
Nice. So, we'll get rid of this. So we've removed the 1, and then we've just checked, and it does say remove all decoy tokens once the Skrull has been found, so we're going to play it as this goes, which means the trap goes along with it.
So, haven't had to worry about sinister traps there.
Nice. So, is that the end of Miles' activation?
Yeah, I don't think I can ask anything more from him there.
Nice. Right then, so Owen, we've had a quick look, and you're not actually within 2 of Panther at the minute, which is a slow saving grace. So it seems the only option I've got to stop you from running away with that point very shortly is to go with Green Goblin and hope to do a bunch of damage. So we're going to spend 4 power for a Knight of the Goblin. It doesn't really matter if it's physical or energy, but we're going to make it energy for the sake of it. So it's 7 dice against Miles' 3.
Yeah.
I've just rolled the 3.
So, I have got 2 wilds there and a skull. Now, as Miles is holding a asset, he's able to re-roll the skull for his spider senses. So we're going to re-roll that there. And then he's able to re-roll again because of his leadership.
Yeah.
Still, only blocking the 2.
No, so I am going to get you to re-roll one of the wilds with my leadership.
Yep, knocking it down to just blocking 1.
So you're taking 2 damage.
And gaining a power.
Yep. Sadly, that isn't sort of the amount of damage I was really hoping for. So Goblin is going to have to put in a little bit more work if he wants to take him down. You do, however, gain poison and incinerate because you suffer damage from the attack. So Goblin is going to be rather ambitious. He's going to go in with a 5 dice pumpkin bombs. We'll make it energy again just for the sake of it, and we'll see how this one goes.
So losing a dice because of incinerate.
Yep. And that's really good from Goblin. So I've got 4 at the minute with 2 crits.
Only got the 1 currently.
So I'll add my 2 crits. Up to 6.
So I can't block it regardless.
Nope, even with all the rerolls in the world, there's no stopping that amount of damage coming in onto Miles.
So I'm going to be taking 3 damage.
Yep.
Gaining 3 power.
You would be gaining bleed because I got 1 world. However, you are dazed, so there's no need to worry about that. So we'll just put dazed token out instead.
Thank you.
And drop the scroll.
There it is for you, sir.
Thank you. So we are going to rather reluctantly spend a power. I did gain 3 power for that attack, sorry, so I'm just going to spend 1 to pick up that scroll. As I said, I am quite reluctant as I only have 2 health left and I can't patch up myself. So that is the Green Goblin done. He's managed to retrieve the scroll though, so It's time to see what the web heads do about that.
Now, I think I should be fine and able to get the scroll back with Black Panther,
Yep.
but let's not worry about that right now, because I don't think anyone over here is really going to be getting over to there. So, I think it's time, maybe, for Venom to do some Venom things.
Nice.
Unfortunately, he is going to have to use one of his actions to move because of that lifesaver, but it was still worth it to make you use that power to get up. So, we are going to march ourselves back up to where we were,
Yep.
as that's leaving him within one of that point, and now within 3 of Crimson Dynamo, so if you do want to hit him, he'll be able to get you back.
So,
without
because
you.
you have finished a move within range for Mysterio, I am going to trigger Tricks and Traps.
Indeed you are.
Cost me 3 power to use this. I'll just quickly read it out. When an enemy character ends a movement within 3 of this character may use this superpower. I get to roll 4 dice. For each crit or wild, the enemy character suffers 1 damage. If you suffer at least 1 damage, so if the tricks deal at least 1 damage, I get to make a small movement. So we're going to see whether I can put the pain onto Venom and get Mysterio out of there. And you do actually take 2 damage from that. And because of Master of Illusions, whenever Mysterio rolls dice, if he rolls a blank, he gains a power. So Mysterio also gets a power. Then, as it's dealt damage, Mysterio now gets to move small. So he's just going to go right over here, away from the angry symbiote. Like so. Just making sure. It's a bit hard to measure for his bows.
Yeah.
Mysterio is there.
And I think we're quite scared of Crimson Dynamo over Lizard in this situation, and they're both 4 physical with reducing damage by 1.
Yep.
So we're gonna start hitting Lizard.
Right, so I'm going to spend 2 power on Dynamo, so that I can re-roll 2 of your attack dice, and you're rolling 1 less dice because of shock.
Yep, so we're just going to go for a 4 dice physical symbiote tendril
Yep.
into Lizard.
So I get 4 defense dice.
Just the 1.
Blocking 1 it is a crit, so I'll add it in. So I'm blocking 2.
However, you do gain bleed.
Yeah, but there's no need for me to make you re-roll any dice. As you said, you've only got 1.
So, now we're going to do a Clintar Rage with Venom using some of that power. We have just checked, and I believe he's just on the cusp of 2 there.
Yep,
Aaron.
so he is within 2 of Dynamo.
Trying not to knock them. And so we're going to spend 3 there and just throw him any direction medium. Now the question is, do we throw him into Lizard or do we just throw him away? I'm thinking, let's try... You know what? I'm quite scared of his energy attacks. Let's just get him
Straight back. Yeah?
straight back.
So
Yeah.
straighten out the tool. Make sure to put it dead centre on his base. Like so. And Dynamo, you're going on a ride, mate, so he gets thrown all the way back here.
Yep, so that means I don't have to worry about Crimson Dynamo as much next turn, putting some energy into me. And we are going to leave Lizard there, I think, because he's outside of one of that objective. So that is Venom done.
Right then, so thanks to my tricks and trap shenanigans, I now have a play to keep hold of the scroll, which is going to be Mysterio, who is going to move once to here. Like so, and then once again, so that he is indeed within range 2 of Green Goblin. Like this. So that if he's dazed, I can pass off the objective.
Yeah, so we're going to go with Black Panther, and the first thing we're going to do is spend 2 power for a pounce. Now, for this he gets to throw himself small, which we aren't using to do damage, we're mostly just using it so he doesn't have to use one of his actions to move. So we're just going to throw him small to there, so that he is quite comfortably, once I find my range 2, there it is in my tray, within range 2 of Green Goblin. And we're going to do a nice simple strike into him. So this is 5 dice physical.
Nice. So Goblin rolls 4 physical defense. You are in 2, so I don't get any cover. Blocking 3 at the minute with 2 crits.
Just getting 1 crit, so no point me exploding that because you have already blocked it.
So I've blocked 3, so don't take any damage. And you do have to push me small though as part of your attack.
Yeah, so we're going to...
Where is Panther, just to check?
Panther is here.
So it's got to be away. So it'll be something within this arc.
Sorry, not doing that.
Like that.
So we're going to push him away small,
You know, just
like so. Yeah, if you can
like
just...
that. There you go. That is yours.
And then we're going to have Black Panther climb up and just start chasing down Green Goblin.
Nice.
Dropping him up to there.
Right then, so it seems the Spider Foes are able to hold on onto it for this turn. I don't think Black Cat can get over there, and she doesn't have the power to steal at the minute anyway. So I might just be okay. Owen, is that the end of Panther's activation?
It is indeed.
Right then, over to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only character I've left to go with is Lizard. Now, sadly, if I just stand on this point, Gwen will quite comfortably be able to move within range 4 of him, use an impact webbing to gain 1 power, and then pull him off the point, which is not really something that I want to happen. So I've just got to see if there's a place I can get to where I'm stopped by a piece of terrain. So I'm just going to have a quick look, and I think if I stand here, I might be able to be within 1 and make it quite difficult for you to get him off. However, I might just be better abandoning this point and leaving Venom behind, as he's very sad being stuck over there, not really doing a lot. So I'm just going to take a quick look and decide what to do. So Owen, what I'm actually going to do is start off with a 4 dice tail whip on Lizard. So this is quite ambitious. I'm going to put it into Venom, and I'm going to see if I can maybe get a push, just to push him back a further bit before I do any movement. So 4 dice. I've got a crit.
I also have a crit.
So I'll add that in. So I've just got the 1.
Blocking 2.
So
3 even.
I could use my Spider Foes leadership, but there's no point as you won't take any damage anyway. So that is Lizard's first attack done. Do you want to counter attack?
No, don't think so. I think we're going to save that power for next turn.
Right. So then all I'm going to do is move Lizard. As I said, I'm going to try and get him within 1 and stopped by this piece of terrain. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but we will see. So within 1 there, and you can't really pull him forward. You have to come around to an angle over here, which is going to be quite difficult for Gwen.
Yeah. So you take your bleed with you.
So I'm pretty sure healing factor would go first, and at this point Lizard's taken no damage, and then he suffers a damage from bleed, sadly. So that is the end of Lizard's activation. Right, now it is over to you.
Yeah, so we are going to go with Gwen, and we're going to do a nice long movement, I think, over to this car, and let's just check if that would get her within range 4 of Lizard.
As you are allowed to use a movement and a range roll at the same time, so it definitely does get you within 4.
So we'll just move her along over towards that car there, so that she's getting cover from it as well.
Nice.
Provided you're outside of range 2, which Crimson Dynamo should be with any attacks. So we're now going to do an impact webbing with Gwent. This is just 4 dice physical, not looking to do much damage, but generate the power.
Right, so I get 4 physical defense, and I don't get cover or anything because I'm Source 3. I'm blocking 1 with the Lizard.
Only doing 1.
So I don't take any damage, but you do gain a power.
Yep, which I will then spend immediately.
So just have a quick look. So we'll place the tool down here. So what you're doing is going to use an impact webbing to pull Lizard off. So you've got to do it this way at least to get him off of the point.
Yep. So we'll just pick him up there. Thank you.
Yep.
And pull him over to there, which takes him comfortably just outside of one of that objective.
Nice. So sadly I won't be scoring it. It was a little bit inevitable that I'd get pulled off of it, especially playing against Web Warriors with Gwen there, who can just move up, gain the power she needs and do that. However, I'm still pretty happy with the position I'm in, so we'll see what happens. Owen, you've just got Black Cat left to go.
Indeed, and we're just going to move her along over to here, so that she is within one of that objective, powering up ready for next turn, so that she can hopefully go and steal some things.
Nice. Right then, Owen, is that the end of the round?
It is.
So this time, Owen, in terms of scoring, it's quite different. So I don't have any of the infinity formulas. You do, however, have this one and this one. We're just going to take a quick look, see if Panther is within 1. He's just out, so you don't have that one, Owen.
That's a shame.
So we're scoring 2 each at the end of that round. as we go into round 3. It's very evenly matched between the webheads and the spider foes at the minute, so we'll see what happens. Right then, Owen, we've done the power phase. For me, the only character to get any extra power was Dr. Octopus. He's already got plenty after being dazed last turn. Venom and Black Cat, for you, have both got some extra power, so quite a bunch of shenanigans that are open up to the webheads now, so it's time to see how the spider foes can deal with them. There's a couple of different characters I'd like to go with first. Doc Ock does seem like the obvious option, however, Green Goblin isn't in the best of places, being so far over on this side of the board. I'd like to force him back in so that if Black Cat does try and steal something, she's got to come this way and then deal with a bunch of other characters. So Owen, I think it's too good of an opportunity to pass up. I am going to go with Dr. Octopus. I'm going to try and take out your leader whilst he's in an unideal spot. So Doc Ock is going to go. He's going to spend 3 power for an arm lasers, and he's going to do it into Miles. So it's 6 dice energy with Pierce. It ignores line of sight. You don't get cover. And we'll see how that goes. So I've rolled 4 at the minute.
Currently just the 1.
I've got a crit to add in, so it's 5. But you do have a bunch of rerolls.
Yep. So first off, the 2 rerolls for our Spider Sense. Not gaining anything, and 1 for Miles' leadership. Not gaining me anything.
So I am going to make you reroll the one you do have in hopes of dazing you. KOing you, rather.
Yep, that is Miles completely gone.
So a huge first attack from Doc Ock. I wasn't planning on being able to just KO you straight off the bat, but it seems that's the way for it to go this time. So that's really, really big for me. Opens up lots of different things. So what I'm going to do first, is put on the power that I would gain from rolling a crit. As whenever Doc Ock rolls dice, if he gets 1 crit, he gains a power. Then Doc Ock is going to do a 6 dice arm lasers, this time into Black Cat. So his energy with Pierce, and we'll see how this goes. Just a 2 this time.
2 with a crit, so we'll add that in.
So I do have Pierce Owen, which gets rid of 1.
Yep.
Which means you're taking just the 1 damage. That did cost me 3 power to do so. Last of all, Doc Ock is going to spend all of his remaining power to throw Black Cat, and I'm just going to throw it right away just to make it a little bit harder for us to come and get this point. That is the end of a huge activation with Doc Ock, and I'm more than happy with the amount of work he was able to put in there. So Owen, it is over to you.
I think what we are going to have to do, just to hopefully try and get that away from you, is do a long movement with Black Cat before Goblin gets away, followed by another long movement, which will take her behind the building.
But within one of Green Goblin.
Yep, so we're going to drop her as angled as possible over to there, I believe. You help me out.
Yeah, so she's just within 1 now, even though you can't see her at the minute.
And she is, if I'm not mistaken, just within 2 of Black Panther.
Yes.
Excellent. So that is 2 movements from her, and then we're going to spend 3 for Master Cat Burglar, which means that I immediately take that asset.
Nice. So the asset is passed over to you, Owen.
Thank you.
Sadly, I weren't able to hold on to it there, but I'm going to try and work my way to take it back.
Yeah, and normally you'd start doing some grapple hooking to get away, but in this situation, I don't want to get away because that would take me away from Black Panther.
So, over to me, Owen.
Yes.
So this side of the board isn't as interesting at the minute. It seems like it's all about what's happening over there. However, I'm not sure really what I want to do. I think in a perfect world, Mysterio would activate. You do a Hypnosis Gas into Panther and move you this way. Then I Tricks and Traps to move that way before Hypnosis Gas into Black Cat. However, that is a perfect world and I'm not sure how likely that is to happen. So, just taking a quick look, Goblin could go. He's got a couple of big attacks, however, I don't think they're big enough to put down the Panther. Mysterio is going to risk it all, Owen. He's going to start off with an attack into the Panther. So it's 4 dice and it is Mystique. So you don't get any blanks against it.
No.
As I said, trying to do a damage and move you to then proc my own Tricks and Traps. Not with that, Owen. So I rolled 4 blanks. So I'll definitely get 1 power at least. All that's left for me to do then is to try and do it again. So 4 dice again. Just 1.
Just 1.
So what a massively underwhelming turn for Mysterio. I do gain another power because I rolled another blank.
I think that makes up for Doc Ock's massive turn there.
Yeah, that puts me on 4 in total. However, Owen, as I said, massively underwhelming, and sometimes it can just be that way. Mysterio didn't do any damage, just gained a couple of power. There's nothing else for him to do really. So that is the end of his turn.
Now, I think it's time for us to try and take out the Goblin before we can start putting the hurt on Black Panther. Or Black Cat, both black felines. So let's spend 2 on Black Panther for Mantle of the Black Panther. Now, this allows him to re-roll any of his attack dice, but sadly not skulls, as Miles has carked it.
So you're rolling 4 dice with 4 rerolls?
Yep.
And I get 4 defense dice to try and fend off the Panther.
So, it's just a nice simple strike. Currently 2 successes with a crit. There's a lot of skulls that Miles would have been really helpful there with if he...
Yes, you've got 3 skulls, you won't be able to roll them. I get 4 defense dice, and I'm blocking nothing.
Add in my crit there.
So you're at 3 in total?
Yeah.
So, Owen, you do 3 damage, which leaves Goblin with just 1 remaining.
Giving me 3 power. So...
You do have to push me though?
Yes, indeed.
So, just as far away as possible?
Yeah, I think that is going to have to be what we're going to do there.
Right. So, we'll get pushed all the way back here. Makes me a very sad Goblin.
Now, I think I'm going to have to ask you to help me out here, because that's a bit leaning over for me. If you don't mind moving Black Panther along there to be dropping just in front of Goblin, between Black Cat, so say about here.
Yeah.
Sorry that you can't see this off camera.
I think you can just about see Panther and Goblin.
And as we don't have any attacks left, we're just going to spend 2 for pounce and just throw ourselves straight into Goblin. Now, Panther takes no damage from this.
Yeah. So in a perfect world, I'd have Brace here, but I don't. So I've just got to roll my 4 physical defense and hope to block all 3 damage that's incoming. I just blocked the 1. So Goblin takes another damage and goes down. So Panther really putting on the pain there after Mysterio slipped up and wasn't able to slow him down. So Owen, is that the end of Panther's activation?
Yeah.
Right
yes,
then.
it is.
Over to me.
Indeed.
So I've just got Dynamo and Lizard left to go. In what is a unfortunate turn of events. I'm just going to have a look and see. Lizard is within 2 of 1, so I'm just going to do a 4 dice striking turn.
Now, in a normal situation, would be lethal protection, but I think we're going to let Gwen take this one.
Nice. So 4 dice physical, and we'll see how it goes. Just a 2.
I've got a crit, so let's add that in. Just taking 1 then.
So re-roll that crit for me, because I could actually make a difference here.
Yeah.
Nice, you're taking 2 damage.
Yep. Taking us up to 3 power.
So Lizard gains 2 power. Then I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. I'm going to spend 3 and throw the car at Gwen.
Okay.
So she has to dodge 3 incoming damage. And hoping she gets nothing at all here, which will daze her.
Now, I do have brace, but I'm thinking in this situation, I might be willing to take her daze in and allow me to steal priority.
Yep.
So yeah, we're not going to brace.
You see what happens. So you're blocking 2 with a crit. Nice, you just take the 1 damage.
It's a good job we didn't use brace.
The only other thing Lizard's going to do is with his second action, he's going to do a strike into Venom. So it's 4 dice physical against your 4 dice physical.
Yep.
I'm hoping here for a push. So I've got 2 at the minute with a crit.
Oh, I also have 2 with the crit.
I'll add my crit in. I've got 3.
Had my crit in, just still 2.
So you take 1 damage. However, I did get the trigger for the push, so because you are size 3 or less, before damage is dealt, I get to push you away. So we're going to say goodbye to Venom and throw him a long way away from Glen, like so. That is the end of Lizard's activation. He'll healing factor the 1 damage he's taken, but then he'll take another 1 for bleed. And he just gained 1 power for his attack. So Owen, it is over to you.
We're going to go with Gwen. Find my long movement, which you have stolen.
Yep.
And I'm thinking Venom is a bit of a distance away from Dynamo. It's going to take him a move and a advance with his superpower to get him into range of Venom, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to move Gwen over to here with a long move. And she's going to spend 3 power and patch up Venom for 3.
Nice.
Take off the damage, not the power. And I think we're just going to start moving over this way, as that side is currently a lot more important.
Right then. So I'm sort of going to copy you and do a very similar thing. Dynamo is going to go. He's going to move small to here. Then he's going to move small again, like so. The question is, do I use his place now? And I actually don't think I do. So that at the start of next turn I can use it after I've seen where you've gone to, like, the end of Dynamo's activation.
Yep, so we're going to go with Venom now, which, as you have rudely taken me out of range 1 of that point, we're just going to advance small up to here, bringing us back to our original position. And as we are just within range 3, I think what we're actually going to do first is a web snare.
Yep.
And pull Lizard in medium towards me.
Yep.
So we're going to pull him just over to here.
Yep. So right go.
And just going to do a strike into him because I'd rather save that power.
So it's just 4 dice as you are still shot. I'm blocking 1 at the minute.
Just getting 1.
I'll have my crit, so I'm blocking 2 so I don't take any damage. I would gain bleed, but I've already got it.
Yeah, and then we're just going to Clint our Rage and throw this nice piece of terrain here right into you. So that gets destroyed.
Dodging 3 damage is size 2. Lizard doesn't block any, so he does reduce damage by 1, which means he takes 2 damage in total.
And that brings you in for a nice slugfest with Venom, which I'm hoping even with the shock I should be able to win.
Well then, at the end of that round, Owen, things have changed a little bit. You now have the scroll over on Black Cat, which means you get 2 points, and then you've got 1 of the Infinity Formula points, meaning you get 3 in total. I scored just the 1, as I'm lagging behind a little bit, because I've got Doc Ock over here on this point. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as we go into round 4. Right, Owen, we've put on our power. I've put my extra power out onto Doc Ock, because he is on an Infinity Formula. Just need to quickly flip over Green Goblin's character card. I would get to roll for Unstable Psych. However, Goblin already has 10 power, so I don't need to do that. I do have priority, Owen, so it's going to be interesting to see what the foes can do. So, Owen, I'm going to start off by going with Green Goblin. I'm going to give you something interesting to think about. I'm going to spend 3 power for a glider ram into Black Panther.
With 4 incoming damage, but 4 physical defense. I think we'll take the defense roll and save brace for impact for when we know that we really need it.
So, see how much Panther takes right off the bat.
Got the crit,
Blocking
so
1
we'll
at the
have that.
minute. So he blocks 2, so he just takes 2 damage so far.
I am happy with that.
Right, so time to start up some shenanigans with Goblin. I'm going to go with a Pumpkin Bombs. First of all, it's a 6 dice attack. I'm going to make it energy. All I'm hoping for here is a wild to give you Incinerate.
Into...
Black Panther.
Okay, so we're counting blanks and successes.
3 dice counting blanks. Goblin has rolled absolutely nothing at all, which is not what you need at this point in time. So
It is for me.
I'm then going to spend 4 power for Knight of the Goblin into Panther. I'm going to make it energy again. So this is 7 dice energy. I've only spent the power because I just want that 1 extra dice, as now it's looking very unlikely I'll be able to dodge it. So 7 dice energy, and we'll see how that goes. So roll 3, Owen.
Blocking 2 because of the blanks.
So I'm just going to ask you to re-roll 1 of your blanks. You're only blocking 1, which means you take 2 damage. And because you suffered damage from that attack, I get to give you poison and incinerate. Then Owen, there's nothing else really, sadly, for Green Goblin to do. Really, really underwhelming to just have a 6 dice and get no successes at all. That is the end of his activation.
So, I think what we're going to want to do here is try and get rid of the people that can take them out rather than actually activating them. So we're going to go with Gwen, who is going to move long over to here.
Yep.
Get to just within one of that point, but within range 4 of
The Doctor.
Doc. And we're going to pay 2 for a web line.
Yep.
So we're going to pull him small towards us. Drops him down to there. And then we're going to go for a spider technique into him. Now this is just 4 dice physical.
Yep.
Just getting 1.
So I get 3 energy defense.
Physical this is.
Sorry, I get 4 physical defense. However, I block nothing. So the dice are doing great at the minute for the foes. I take 1 damage.
I gain 1 power, and as I've already moved in this activation...
You get to move again?
Yeah. So, with Wall Crawler, we're going to move ourselves long and just get us up onto this objective instead.
Right, Owen, so the one thing I'm going to do, just as you move there, I'm going to spend 3 power for tricks and traps on Mysterio.
Yep.
See if I can get any damage and hopefully move myself. So 4 dice, looking for crits and wilds. So I get just the 1, but it does mean you take 1 damage. Because you took damage from that, I get to move, and because I roll a blank, I get a power. So Mysterio will move up here like so. Right then, Owen, ultimate.
Yeah.
So Mysterio is going to go, and the question is, what does he do? So he's going to start off by putting a 4 dice Mystic attack into Black Panther.
Okay.
So you're rolling 2 defense dice and not counting blanks.
Yep.
And I've got 4 dice. Hopefully I don't do what I did last turn, which was do no damage at all. So 4 dice, hoping to do the damage to Daisy. I've got 3 at the minute, which is a good start.
I've got 1 with a crit.
I've got 2 crits to add in. So I'm doing rolling 4 in total.
So even if I block it, I'm going to be dazing, which I don't.
So you take 2 damage,
Yep.
which means Mysterio gains 2 power. I'll get a power for rolling a blank as well. So that puts me on 6 in total. So the question is, what am I going to do next? I think Mysterio is going to do... He's going to spend 4 power. Sorry, I'll just clean up these tokens a little bit. So for those that don't know, Black Cat is stood behind this building with the scroll, which is why everyone's fixating on being over there. I'm going to spend 4 power, leaving him with just 2 to do a curtain call into Black Cat, as she is within 2. So this is a 6 dice Mystic attack, and we're hopefully going to do a decent amount of damage to Black Cat. 4.
Just the 1 crit. So
Yep.
we'll add that in. So blocking 2.
So I'm going to ask you to re-roll the crit.
I believe that was the skull
Yeah.
that I rocked. Yep.
So you're taking 3 damage in total, which means again 3 more power. And if this attack deals damage, and because you are size 2, I can be throwing you small. So I get to throw you like so, and I'm going to make you hit Black Panther.
So what we're going to do is spend a power off of Black Cat.
Full brace.
Full brace.
So you don't take any damage there, just leaving her on 1 health. I'm really sad because I didn't quite get the wild on that attack roll that I needed to give you stagger. So that is the end of Mysterio's activation.
Yeah, so I think what we're going to have to do is at least try and make it harder for you to get to Black Cat, or at least be unable to pick up the scroll. So, Black Cat is just going to move. So she only moves small now.
Yep. I'm just going to check you're not close enough for me to trigger tricks and traps, sadly.
And move again and put ourselves directly in that corner.
Nice.
So that you have to really work to get over, and even if you can get in and get within range 3 of a stealth, means that you shouldn't hopefully be within range to pick up the scroll if you do, Dazer.
Now that you've activated Black Cat, that means that you've got nothing left really to do over there. So I'm going to go with Lizard. The first thing I'm going to do is spend 3 power to throw Venom small. Just getting him nice and far away from me. So I'm going to throw you over to there. Next up, what I'm going to do is make a medium move with Lizard over in this direction. Like so. And then with his second action, I'm just going to move again to here so that he's plenty of distance away from Venom. His healing factor kicks in, which means he takes one of his damage off. Then bleed means he takes it again, so he just stays having taken 3 damage. That is the end of Lizard's activation.
Sadly, with that pull, I think you've scuppered my plan. As I think with 2 small moves, I will probably be just outside of range 4 to try and pull Doc up towards me. So we can at least, with 2 small moves, so one to there, and another one to just drop myself within 1 of this objective. Yeah, also takes him outside of range 4 of Lizard. Now, unfortunately, I think he's just going to have to stay there and score some points, get some power, and hopefully then be able to do something for next turn. It's not what I'd really like to be doing with him, but unfortunately I think it's all I can do.
Right then, Owen, over to me.
Yes.
So it's time to see where I can get with my characters. So Dynamo can move small once to here, move small again, and he can then place himself within 2, which I believe, if I daze Black Cat by throwing her into Goblin, will be close enough to pick up the objective. So that's what I'm going to go with. So Dr. Octopus is going to go for me. He's going to move medium once to here, like so. It's really difficult if you can't see exactly what's going on because of the building. So he's now within range 3 of the Black Cat, so he's going to spend 3 power to use Ox Clutches to throw her into Green Goblin. The Goblin might not be the happiest about this, but I have a needs must. So Black Cat will take 1 damage, which will daze her.
Indeed.
And then Goblin needs to make a dodge roll and hopefully not take 3 damage to the face. So I only get 3 physical defense now. It's time to see what happens. So he dodges nothing, which means he does indeed take 3 damage to the face, which isn't great. As he looks at Doc Ock, wondering why the hell he just did that. So
do you gain power from that as
I
it's not
don't,
an enemy
sorry.
effect?
So because it was caused by me, I don't get any power, so just 3 damage.
A bizarre situation that I don't think many people have seen before.
Yep. I'll get to place the scroll within range 2. So I'm going to put it over here.
Yep.
There it is. Awesome. And then that is the end of Doc's activation. I don't think Goblin is very happy, but as I said, needs must. So I've just got Dynamo left to go. He is sadly very slow, but thanks to his place, I reckon he'll be able to get there. So he's going to move small once to here. Then he can place himself within 2 for 2 power, which I'm going to do. Like so, which gets him within 1 of that point. Now, the question here is, I obviously do have the power to pick up the scroll. Gwen only has 1 health left. Do you have patch up?
No, not left.
So what I'm going to do, I could attack you here, but I'm not actually going to. I'm going to spend 1 to pick up the scroll. And the reason I'm not going to attack you is it will mean you come back next turn with 5 health. However, if I just leave you as B, it means you'll be running around next turn on 1. So Dynamo's still got another action. It's a question of where does he go. At the minute, Panther would be able to just pounce straight into him, which is not something we want. So I believe we're going to move small to here. And what this does is means that if Black Cat moves in towards to try and get more point, you're going to be triggering Tricks and Trap on Mysterio. So, Owen, at the end of that round, it's been a right turn of events. You're scoring 1 point over there. This point is not contested as Mysterio is just out of 1, so he's scoring 2. And I'll get 2 as well for the scroll, so it is 9-7 as we go into round 5. So there are a couple of small things that happen now in the power phase. We just need to move the ticks. So the first of those things is everyone gets a power if they're within 1 of an Infinity Formula, which at the minute is Gwen and Venom, so they both get extra power.
Yep.
Then Owen, I have to roll for Goblin's unstable psych, so 5 dice, and for each hit crit or wild he gets extra power. Just the 1, so great dice again there from Goblin, as he goes up to 5 power in total. Owain, I did have the last activation with Dynamo who stole the scroll, so it is over to you to decide what happens next.
Is she within 3 of Doc?
Gwen is within 3 of Doc, yeah.
Okay, so what I think we're going to do, just to try and limit your movement, is Gwen's going to drop an all webbed up.
Yep, suspending 3 power. So I know this card all too well. Slow goes on everyone within 3 of Gwen, which is going to be Mysterio and Dynamo. It won't affect them in terms of movement, because they already move small, but it does mean you'll get some extra attack dice this turn with Web Warriors. Doc Ock then gets it, as he's within 3, and we just need to check. Goblin is just out of 3, so he won't be getting slow, look at that.
And I think I'm a bit scared of people hurting her, but I don't think even if she runs away a lot, it'll be much help. So, I think what we're going to do is throw an impact webbing into the goblin.
Nice, so Gwen is going.
Yep.
So it's 4 dice, so I get to roll 4 defense dice. I don't have any power for any shenanigans, sadly. Blocking just the 1.
4 with a crit.
Nice, so that's more than enough to put Goblin down. My dice have been absolutely great on him. He's taken 3 from a throw off Doc Ock, and then 4 to the face, again more than enough to daze him. So that is Goblin gone, and with it we are both leaderless.
Indeed. Then I think what we're gonna do, now that we've got the 2 power, is throw a spider technique into Mysterio and pay 2 power to ignore your
Buffed up defences?
Yep.
Nice.
So this is 4 dice physical plus an additional 2 for all webbed up.
Nice. So I only get the 1 dice. So I did get a crit, luckily.
I have 2 crits, so we'll just pull these aside and add those in for a total of 5.
Adding my crit, so I'm just blocking 1, so I'm taking 4 damage to the face, which dazes Mysterio. Just some crazy knowledge from the Web Warriors there. Doesn't leave me with a huge amount of options here to deal with what you've got left to go, so that is Mysterio dazed.
And I think it might be worth us. No, I don't think it is worth us pulling anyone around.
Right, so that is the end of Gwen's activation.
Yes.
Over to me. Lizard hasn't actually gone, sorry. So I've got Dynamo, Doc Ock and Lizard, and I think the person to go is Dr. Octopus. Let's see what shenanigans we can pull off. You did a lot for me early game, getting that scroll back. I want to make sure you don't get hold of it again. So Doc Ock is going to go, he's going to do a 4 dice strike into Black Cat. So I've got 2, however my wild counts as 2 successes, so it's actually 3.
And I've just blocked 1, so I'll be taking 2
damage. Doc Ock gains 2 power for the damage dealt and another power because you roll a blank. So puts him on 4 in total. I'm then going to do another 4 dice strike, hoping for a couple of wilds here into Black Cat. Just 1, Owen.
With the crit, we'll just add it in C, but blocking everything.
Nice. Sadly, I didn't have a leadership there to help me out. The only other thing I'm going to do is spend 3 power, Owen, and throw Black Panther into Black Cat and see what happens when you have to dodge.
Okay, so we'll roll for Black Cat. Blocking 1, so she's taking 2 damage.
Yep, which leaves her with just 1 health left.
Taking her up to 10 power.
Yeah, so sadly, not enough to daze her. That is the end of Doc's heroic activation. He gains another power because he got 1 blank in that last roll. And it is over to you, Owen, to see what you'd like to do.
And I think what we're going to be doing, at least to make things a bit awkward for you, is do a long move up to the edge of the building there, if you could for me, please. Then we're going to spend 2 for a grapple hook
Yep.
and get ourselves...
Within one of Dynamo?
That is the plan. Yep. Drop it there for me, please.
Yep.
Let us be just at the edge of one of Dynamo.
Yep.
We're going to spend 3 for Master Cat Burglar.
Yep, so you steal the scroll.
And then we're going to do a long movement back.
So you move small now because you're holding the scroll.
Yes, I do. Thank you for reminding me. So we'll just do a small movement over there. Dropping me down so that I am next to Black Panther.
Right then. Oh, and is it then over to me?
Indeed. Let's see if that can be enough of a saving grace.
So I'm going to have to go all or nothing and do a 5 dice beam attack into Black Cat and Panther with Dynamo. You are within range 3 on Black Cat, which means I am able to hit you. So we'll hit Black Panther first. 5 dice energy.
So Black Panther's going to spend 2 power.
Yep.
Sadly, he's not counting blanks on his flip side, but he does get to add 2 to his defense dice with the spending of the power.
So we'll see what happens. 5 dice. Just 2 at the minute.
Blocking 3.
So I've got a crit to add. 2 in total Owain, so not quite enough, I don't think, to do much there. I do give you shock. Then we're going to do it into Black Cat as it is a beam attack. I'll gain 1 power for the first attack. So 5 dice energy. And where was that roll on Black Panther? I've got 5 with 2 crits.
Blocking 1.
So that's more than enough to put her down.
So she's going to be spending 2 for mission objective and handing that off to Black Panther.
Right, so I gain another power, and that is Black Cat KO'd. There we go.
Thank you.
Then, Owen, the only thing left for me to do is to do another measly 5 dice stack into Panther.
Which we again will be spending 2 on.
Yep. And hopefully I get the spot of a lifetime, but I think I've just wasted it on Black Cat.
That's my hope as well.
3 in total.
Blocking 2.
So you take 1.
Excellent.
Gain a power. And yes, so sadly not enough to daze the Panther. We're going to spend 2 power, place him within 2, to get him onto this point. That is the end of Dynamo's activation.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go with Venom.
Yep.
Who is going to move himself small to here.
Yep.
We're going to... he does have 3 power, which is a bit of a shame. But let's see how it goes. Spend 2 power on Venom to web snare you into myself.
Yep.
So we're just going to pull you straight into me.
Yep.
And we'll just do a symbiote tendril. So this will only be 4 dice instead of 5.
Yeah, and I'll be rolling 4 defense dice. I'm blocking 2.
I currently have 2 crits. So let's hope that these give me something. Just 1.
So I take a damage.
Gives me a power.
Yep.
So, that is it for Venom. He sacrificed 1 victory point there, coming off of the objective, but at least it's took you away from Black Panther.
It has indeed. So, Owen, over to me.
Yeah.
And Lizard is going to have to go. So what Lizard is going to do is move over this way and see what happens. So you're going to move once to here. Then he's going to move once again. This time to here. I don't believe he's within one of the points, but what I'm going to do is spend 3 power and throw Gwen into the Daze Mysterio, which will be enough to daze her.
Indeed.
Then suffer damage, heal 1, so I stay exactly as I am on 4 damage. Only it is then lastly over to Black Panther.
Now, I think we might try and be a little bit greedy here, because I definitely won't be able to outpace you, especially with Doc Ock there and only a small movement. So let's at least try and maximise some of my points this turn. So we're going to move Black Panther small to there.
Yep.
Then we're going to spend 2 for a pounce.
Yep.
And get ourselves... Magnet is catching on a nail there. To be...
So you'll have to go direct. Sorry, you can't see this. So Panther's just throwing himself straight over here.
Yeah.
So that he's within one of this point.
And also within 2 of Crimson Dynamite.
Yep.
And let's at least see if we can do some damage on it as well. So we spend 2 for a Mantle of the Black Panther.
Yep.
And just do a 5 dice strike into him.
Right. So Dynamo is rolling 4 physical defense. He's blocking 1.
I've currently got 2 with the crit. So first off we add the crit. And then we re-roll these 2 blanks.
Yep.
For a total of 4.
So Dynamo takes 2 damage as he reduces damage roll.
Gives me 2 power. And the main thing that I'm looking for is before damage is dealt, pushing you small.
Yep.
There it is. So we're just going to push you small.
Yeah, well.
Down, down, down.
Right then, Owen, at the end of that turn, some more shenanigans from the Web Warriors. I'm not scoring any points. You are scoring 3 in total because you do have the scroll and you have one of the points, which takes you up to 12. So Owen, it's time to see what happens as we move into round 6. Right then, Owen, what a bonkers turn that was. It's time to see if there is anything the foes can do to stay in the game. I'm 5 points behind. I've got Mysterio, who's on 10 power, Lizard is on 3, Dr. Octopus is on 4, and Dynamo is also on 4. So I've got lots of power. It's whether I can do anything with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is go with Mysterio, I believe, and try and pull off some funky shenanigans. So I'm going to spend 4 power for a curtain call attack into Gwen, so it's 6 dice Mystic. Let's see how this goes. So I'm rolling 4 at the minute. I've got a crit to add in, so that's 4 in total.
I've blocked nothing.
So you take 4 damage.
Indeed.
Which is perfect, as because this attack deals damage, I now get to throw you. So I'm going to throw you down so you hit Black Panther, which KOs Gwen.
Yep.
And Panther needs to dodge. No, so he dodges all of it. Then Owen, Mysterio is going to do a... how much does Panther have left? 4?
Yes.
So I can do a 4 dice attack into you, or a 6 dice curtain call. So I'm going to do I'm going to spend... Did you roll a blank? Sorry.
I believe you did.
So I think I did, so I'm going to put a power on Mysterio. So Mysterio is then going to spend 4 power again for a curtain call into Black Panther. So it's 6 dice Mystic, leaving me with just 3 power left. I'm going to see what happens here. So roll 2.
Block nothing.
So you take 2 damage. Because I rolled a wild, you get staggered. Like so. And then because I dealt damage, I get to throw you. So you can't see it sadly, I'm just going to throw Panther into the building. So he takes another damage. I gain a power because I roll a blank. And then a throw is a type of movement, so I can trigger tricks and traps, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to spend 3 power. So I need a hit, crit or wild to do 1 damage to Panther. I'll get 3 there, so it's more than enough to KO him. I get to place a scroll, which I'm going to put here. Because I dealt damage, I also get to move small. So I'm going to move down here, within 1 of this point. And then I'm going to spend a power that I had left to pick up the scroll. So Owen, that is the end of Mysterio's activation. It is over to you.
So let's take Black Panther off. Now, I think my maths may be correct. As we all know, is not my strong suit. I'm going to move Venom to here.
Yep.
We're going to move him again so that he's as far away from Crimson Dynamo as he can possibly be, but still within one of this objective.
Yep.
Crimson Dynamo has no way to push and or move Venom, does it? Okay. So that's going to be Venom.
Right then, sadly, Owen, I don't think there is anything I can do now. I am too far behind on points. The maximum I could score here is 5. So the first thing I'm going to do, Owen, there's not much I can do, I don't think. But I'm going to go with Lizard. So he's just going to move over onto this point, and that's the end of his activation. Like so. Then I'm going to go with Dr. Octopus, who is slowed. I'm just going to shake the slow for what it's worth and use Wall Crawler to move up onto this point. Then all I've got left is Dynamo Owen. Sadly, even if I move onto this point, I'll just be scoring 5, which will leave me 1 behind you, and as we're at the end of round 6, that will be all. So Owen, what I'm going to do is go with Dynamo. I'm just going to move once to here. Once again to here. Then I'm going to spend 2 power to place with me 2. Like so. However, that is the end of Dynamo's activation, and there's not much else I can do. I'll take the slow with me for what it's worth, so I want to just move in 1 of the point. At the end of the round, Owen, I get 1, 2, 3 for these points, and 2 for the scroll, which puts me up to 12 from 7.
Yep, and
However,
Venom is there, so it takes me up to 13.
Yeah, Venom scores you 1 point, so you go to 13 at the end of the round, which means the Web Warriors win, as there's nothing the Spider Foes can do, sadly. Venom coming in right at the end just to get that last point.
What I thought was a waste of Venom, having him over there and that he was potentially going to cost him the game, meant that he just managed to survive and get me that last victory point that was needed. Just eke it out.
So, Owen, good game. What a crazy swingy game. The Spider Foes were absolutely killing it on attrition. Sadly, in the end, we just couldn't catch up with points. And it's shown there. I think if you hadn't have pushed Dynamo for that point with Panther, we'd have been tied at this point. But sadly, you did, so there's not much I can do. So thank you for the game. We'll move into a quick outro and talk about the game. Right then, Owen, sadly, a lot of the game happened behind the building, but it was a crazy close game in the end. There was nothing that the Spider Foes could do to catch up. Venom has betrayed them all, getting that 1 VP at the end that you needed to just keep you ever so slightly ahead. Yep. So what a crazy game, and thank you for the game.
Thank you.
I say this so much, but it feels like that was one of the closest games on the channel. I'd managed to deal with all of the Web Warriors bar Venom, and then at the end, when I thought he'd been the one losing the game by not contributing, he actually sweeps in and scores that last point. So great play from Venom, and seeing that there at the end and just moving away and going, right, deal with it. So talking about the plays, who was your MVP in that game?
To be honest, I think they all... I mean, Miles had 1 very solid turn and then immediately fell over.
Went down like bag of potatoes.
To be honest, I think everyone consisted about the same amount. I mean, I know Venom seemed like he didn't do much, but that consistent point scoring and the fact that he pulled Lizard that once just to try and get you back over meant that you couldn't get over there and do damage a bit quicker. Black Panther and Black Cat bouncing the scroll between themselves. I think it's going to have to be Black Panther, that being a little bit greedy at the end, moving over and just the automatic push, getting Dynamo off of that point there, just getting me that 1 additional victory point at the end, which
then meant
really
I couldn't catch you.
Won me the game.
So that was really good. I could definitely see why you went with Black Panther there. For me, Owen, MVPs, I'm not really sure who to go with. Mysterio.
I think Mysterio, to be honest.
I think he has to be my MVP, but there was a turn where he did 2 attacks, did nothing. Yeah. Absolutely nothing.
But that final turn just bang, smashed Gwen, smashed Panther, smashed Black.
He did everything he could to try and claw it back. Sadly, it wasn't enough.
but I'm sure the Spider Files will have it out for the Web Warriors next time.
Yeah.
So Owen, my MVP was Mysterio, yours was Black Panther.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy game. Final score is 13-12, isn't it?
Yes.
So that should be here below us. Last thing to say is to please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you've got this far in the video, then hopefully you'll have done those things anyway. And as well as that, we do have a Patreon through which you can support us. Owen, thank you for coming on, and I'm sure we'll have you on again soon.
Very soon. Thank you.
So guys, thanks for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Feel free to leave any thoughts you have down in the comments below, and let us know if we missed anything or made any mistakes when playing the game. I just want to give a big shout out to all of the supporters of Web Warrior Protocols that have made this all possible, and a big thank you to all of the channel's patrons. The support from Patreon goes towards buying new terrain and buying new models to be painted up to be used on the channel. If you'd like to support the channel through joining the Patreon, you can find a link to it down below in the description, as well as links to all of the channel's social media.